everything Disney touches turns to, well, let's just not say gold in this situation. And Disney definitely touched Lucasfilms.
Alrighty, welcome back everyone. We are now getting closer to the end of July of 2023, and given that there's a lot of things happening right now between Bob Iger and the Disney board and the constant shakeup that they're currently in right now, given the fact that there's a lot of divide between the board members, a lot of which support Kathleen Kennedy, others of which, by the way, are against her and want nothing to do with her, so there's a real problem.
I don't understand how that makes sense in general, because the board members are usually, you know, people who are supposed to have invested interest in the company, that's supposed to make decisions for the company. And Kathleen Kennedy has shown constant disregard for the most important thing in the universe. Money. And even more importantly, not her money. So, how are people still for her? I don't know. I don't believe any of that.
Problematic situation arising over at Disney, but also things have a lot to go with Lucasfilm and exactly what's going on over there with the financial collapse. Let's discuss. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on.
Don't look too long. She takes your soul or something like that. And also, why are her eyes just, like, so not parallel?
On Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into the situation, shall we? Now, the thing about Indiana Jones 5 is that it created such a domino effect for Lucasfilm that things are beginning to tumble when it comes to the Star Wars movies, the Star Wars TV shows, and everything just related to Lucasfilm flat out.
Okay. How can Indiana Jones, something that most people don't even know is in the same, well, you can't say the same realm, but, you know, done by the same thing as Star Wars, gonna create a domino effect to destroy Star Wars? Most people don't even know they're even remotely related. And second of all, it's not like this is the first Indiana Jones disaster. We already had an Indiana Jones disaster not that many years ago. So, how is this disaster different from the first disaster? And why is this disaster so special that it's finally going to destroy Star Wars? I kind of want to know.
Out to the point where it's creating a lot of panic, not just for those over at Lucasfilm, but also for the Disney board, and how to exactly deal with the situation. Now, there's a lot of things that are going to be interconnecting with Ahsoka, with the Acolyte, and with Skeleton Crew, and exactly how it relates to the financial crisis happening with Lucasfilm right now, as they lost hundreds of millions of dollars related to Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny. Bob Iger is being forced to address this in the next earnings call, so we'll be talking about that once he addresses that further down the road.
But I also want to point out just Bob Iger, the savior of Lucasfilm, Star Wars, and everything movies. The only guy who actually cares about, you know, you and me, the common people, and good movies, right? Where do you get this information from? Where do you get the idea that Bob Iger is not a corporate shill out to make money? If you look at his life story, that guy has climbed the corporate ladder just to be at the very top. He doesn't give a shit about anything else but being at the top. He literally sacrificed his family to get to the top. And that's not even a joke. He actually, like, said, yeah, I don't care about family. I just want to be a big-time executive. And you think that guy is now gonna magically just be like, oh no, the movies, they're getting bad. The people don't like... He doesn't give a shit. I don't understand why people have this, like, oh no, Bob Iger is the savior of humanity. How do you even get to that point? What do you need to think to get to that point?
However, on top of all of this, with Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy dealing with tons of backlash right now related to the Dial of Destiny, as it turns out, the damage done to Lucasfilm is far worse than anybody even imagined. One major development revolving around Bob Iger and the Disney board has much to do with the decisions surrounding Lucasfilm. Now, between Lucasfilm losing so much money over the Han Solo movie back in 2018, and on top of
Han Solo movie. I forgot about it because I haven't seen it.
that, hundreds of millions of dollars related to Indy 5, as well as a large loss of subscribers.
I tried to watch Rogue One. I got in 15 minutes, and that's it. It was just boring. Nothing was happening. Nothing made sense. It was shit. It was boring. I literally got 15 minutes in. Okay? 20 years ago, if a movie was bad, at least you watched it. But now movies are so bad that it's like, okay. 10 minutes in, I am bored out of my mind. Nothing's happening, nothing makes sense, and I'm just gonna do something else. It's absolutely insane that can happen.
And or lower frequency active subs due to Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, and Mando Season 3, Lucasfilm was already dealing with a financial crisis and collapse to the point that it has forced Kathleen Kennedy to pull over 10 Star Wars projects either on hold or some of which are getting cancelled altogether.
No.
Discussions are already happening between Disney and Lucasfilm on if they should delay the Rey movie and focus on Filoni's movie first to prevent any kind of
Delayed Rey movie. I don't know about that. Are you telling me I'm not gonna see Rey restore the Jedi Temple and remake it in the form of the bestest ever girl that there ever was? Man, I don't know if we can survive without that one.
of backlash and more fan division as they have come to realize that nobody wants this Rey movie to begin with. Now, of course, they want to focus on that being the first film arriving in 2026 and to replace that with the Filoni film. Now, many board members are calling for the cancellation of both the Rey movie and James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi film to course correct the film slate. However, that's currently not final as of yet. Now, guys, let me say one thing about this real quick before we get to the next major development about this, is that nobody wants a Rey movie, period.
I do.
We know that a large portion of fans hate the sequel trilogy. They were very much unhappy with the way things ended with Rey taking down Palpatine, essentially becoming,
Spoilers.
the new Chosen One, if you want to look at it that way, because she destroyed the Sith once and for all, and really took Anakin's place by destroying Palpatine.
Nice. She deserves it. She deserves it.
Once and for all in Return of the Jedi. Heading into the first Star Wars film by 2026 being the Rey movie is a big mistake, and the fact that they do realize that just goes to show you that they are somewhat, I would say somewhat, coming to their senses, only because they are dealing with a crisis right now. Have they not?
They accidentally do one potentially good thing, and we don't even know if this is true. They're coming back to the senses. It's gonna be nothing but an absolute 100% overhaul from the top to the bottom. And when I mean bottom, I mean even the people who bring you coffee. Without that, this is not happening. Okay, without that, there's nothing's gonna change. They're still probably gonna choose Rey over everyone because she's the best, and we all know that's true.
Not, been dealing with a crisis, they probably would have been, not having even these discussions at all, period. But here we are, it's the end of July, Bob Iger's dealing with a lot of flack because of what happened with Dial of Destiny. In fact, the failure of this film is so strong, like I said, it's creating a big ripple effect on all of the up-and-coming Star Wars releases. This is impacting a lot of cancellations, a lot of...
Looks kind of like a dildo. Slightly. When I have seen too many Rule 34s of this.
Projects being put on hold, as Kathleen Kennedy likes to call that, remaining on the back burner, yada yada yada, right? And when you look at stuff like this too, the domino effect is so severe to the point that it's even impacting themselves having conversations.
She looks so bad. She looks so fucking bad.
On whether or not they should delay the Rey movie or swap.
She looks pissed and on her period bad. I mean, like, wow, this is gonna be something else.
Up or rearrange the film slate and focusing on Filoni's movie first, then the Rey movie second. and other board members just want to cancel out the Rey movie altogether. I call for it to be canceled. That's what should happen, and honestly, I don't see this movie even arriving, to be honest, with everything happening with the writer's strike. It's just so ridiculous.
The writer's strike actually gives us a chance to receive something better.
That, it's going to get delayed again. There's no doubt about this. I'm calling it right now, guys. We all know that if the writer's strike continues on into November, and this is a conversation that has been happening over at Disney, that they're going to delay the movies again for the next cycle. So moving onwards here, this is where things get really interesting, is that Disney right now is in full panic mode as Lucasfilm continues to lose money and is bringing in less and less revenue over time. As they realize if it gets so bad to a new low, they may just have to sell Lucasfilm if it really hits rock bottom, which, guys, I think that's still unlikely, at least for the near future, but who knows? The Rey movie is already facing a delay anyway.
I never believe this crap, because it's like, this is presented to us like this is the first time it happens. No, this has been happening for years. They have been leaking money for years. They have been failing for years. All of this has been happening for years, and yet this is like, oh, this is a completely new thing that's suddenly happening out of nowhere. Is it? No, it's not. So why are you just, misrepresenting it? It makes no sense.
Anyway, with the strikes aimed to continue into the fall, Lucasfilm specifically is dialing back on the marketing of the Ahsoka Tano series than previously planned, just to save money after the failure of Indy 5, which is why less new footage is arriving in—
I mean, show me a single Ahsoka Tano screenshot promotional material where it doesn't look like she's perpetually pissed at the patriarchy. Can you? I doubt it.
In the form of TV spots. With Ahsoka less than a month away from its release, this is Disney's endgame to save revenue by drastically reducing the marketing of Ahsoka, as they are betting everything on that show to turn things around for the better. Kennedy is also heading into full panic mode over the further losses over at Lucasfilm. Okay. So guys, two things about this is that it also impacted Ahsoka's marketing strategy.
By the way, Kathleen Kennedy is never gonna allow Rey to disappear. You must understand that, right? Because Kathleen Kennedy inserted herself as Rey. Rey is the representation of Kathleen Kennedy. As long as Kathleen Kennedy's here, Rey is not going anywhere. She will convince anyone she needs that Rey is the right choice forward, because she herself is the right choice forward. Why do people think that Rey is gonna go anywhere? No. They're literally intertwined.
You're getting less footage, less TV spots now, just less everything than they previously planned, alright? They were supposed to have this mega marketing strategy for Ahsoka that is now coming to a close.
Mega marketing.
Here's the other thing about Ahsoka that I know a lot of you have been bringing up to myself, and I have even been questioning this too.
Okay.
Why are they having a 2-episode event on release day on the 23rd? A lot of people—
that does sound strange.
Have been asking me, Mike, does that mean that maybe the first 2 episodes are so boring to the point that they have to make it a 2-episode premiere just to make up for audience, or potential audience retention loss?
No.
It's possible. They kind of did this, I believe, with other shows out there, and those—
How do you— Okay, so if your show is so bad, you expect people to tune out. How does playing 2 episodes save that situation? Doesn't that just ruin the situation? When people are like, okay, this first episode is kind of literally garbage. Do I want to watch it? Nah. How does adding 2 episodes instantaneously save the fact that the show is bad?
Related to Andor, the first 3 episodes were a bore, in my opinion. A lot of people may or may not agree with me on that, but I felt it was a bore. And what do you know, the first 3 episodes were just flat boring. To me, at least. And we've seen other shows do the same. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe They wanted to originally do this with Obi-Wan. That was the original plan, to have like a 3-episode premiere, and this is way back when, by the way, guys, when they were planning to make it 8 episodes instead of 6, and I found the first 3 episodes to be quite boring. So it kind of connects. I would love to hear your take on that below in the comments, what you think about all of this below, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up.
Well, anyway, wow. This is crazy. I don't know if people buy this or not. It's like kind of absolutely crazy. Anyway, that was entertaining, at least in my opinion. Mike Zerat, always coming up with, you know, the wildest things possible. I mean, he should be a writer for Lucasfilms at this point, about Lucasfilms, because he just does a good job at it. Pretty sure he just, you know, makes the shit as he goes. But he's really good at it. At least it's entertaining. Anyway, this was Quizzer Said. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.